Hi there, and welcome. My name is Calliope, and we're going to be doing quite a bit of testing today. Have you ever had applied kinesiology testing done before? Okay, so this is going to be a real treat. So, would you mind telling me if there is anything specific that you are looking for information on? If you have anywhere that has any pain, for example. So, in the body, do you have any areas of concern, basically? Okay. Alright, well, we can take a look at that. So, very first thing I want to do is just establish a bit of an indicator muscle. And then I'll tell you a little bit about what goes into applied kinesiology, as well as, what it is. So, the very first thing I want to do you have a preference as to which arm I work with? Okay, I will test this one and we'll see what comes up. So, what I'm going to have you do, you could hold your arm out at essentially a 45-degree angle. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to press down on the arm. I'm going to start very gently, and then I'm going to keep applying pressure, and your job is to hold, to resist against the pressure. Now, sometimes, even though you hold, your arm is just going to fall, and that's okay. That tells us what's going on. But we're going to ideally have the arm stay locked in place, and that tells us that an area is okay. So if I could have you just keep the arm up, straighten down. Let's see if this is locked in. I am going to just apply pressure here. And going down, just keep holding. Okay, very good. And let me just look a little bit here. Okay. So this should switch off. So even though you hold, it's probably just going to go straight down, okay? So keep your arm out. I'm going to have you hold. Okay, I'm just going to apply pressure. And there we go. It goes right down. Let's switch that back on. And then arm out. I'm going to have you hold. I'm going to apply pressure. Okay, and it stays strong. So this is our good indicator muscle right here. So, what we're going to be doing today. Applied kinesiology is almost somewhat like, have you ever had the codes run to your vehicle? You ever gone in somewhere or had someone hook up their little device, their little computer, to run the codes so that you can see what's going on with your vehicle? For example, if a light appears on the dashboard, check engine light, things like that. Okay, it's quite similar to that. We're basically working with your body's computer, and we are doing this manually. Instead of having a little device tell us everything, we're going to do everything by hand. So, if there's a blockage in, say, a muscle, in a joint, organ, energy, aura, all these different areas, we're going to be able to tell using this technique. So it was developed in the 1960s by a chiropractor named George Goodhart, And now you see it used oftentimes with different bodywork practitioners, chiropractic practitioners, that sort of thing. So we're going to stick with this arm. We're going to stick with this arm, and we can use acupressure points, work with the meridians. I mean, we can test all sorts of things. So now that we have established this muscle, we're just going to touch around and see if there's any dysfunction anywhere. So I'm going to have you keep your arm at that 45-degree angle, and we're just going to retest this real quick. Okay, and that is staying strong, so let's start right here. So I will touch different areas, and that's going to tell the body, hey, we're focusing on this area. Is there anything going on here? Is there anything we need to take a look at? So we'll touch here. And I'm going to have you hold, and I'm going to press down. Good, so we're staying strong there. Now, for example, if we get a drop, if we get a fail, if you will, then there's a few things we can do here. So we can further identify this by touching the thumb to each of the fingers and asking the body if it is a particular cause. So if you were to fail, for example, I could test it again using my first finger, and that would tell us, for example, is this a structural issue? If I went to the second, is this a nutritional issue? The third, is this an emotional issue? Or the fourth, is this an energetic issue? And then we can go even further into that. We might see that later to see the priority mode and whatnot. But for now, we're just going to get this to retest as our indicator. So go ahead and hold. And that's staying strong. Okay. So let's try right in here. And hold. Okay, good. And right here. And hold. Very good. Now I am going to have you lie down, and we are going to continue to do this. We're actually going to use some more muscles than just this arm like this. This is going to be our main one. So if I could have you get all comfortable, lying face up, and we will continue with the testing. So now we're going to do a little bit of a different muscle test. I'm going to have you have your palm face outward and put the arm against the body. Okay? I am going to be trying to pull this, and I want you to resist me. I want you to hold against me. Okay? So we'll start on this side. Face the palm out. Okay? And I'm going to try to pull outwards. I want you to hold strong against that. Okay. Okay, not so much. Interesting. Let's go ahead and just retest that. So, go ahead and hold. Okay. And how about the other side here? Just turn the palm out. Arm against the side. And it'll be kind of a motion like this that I'm going to be pulling. So, go ahead and hold. And that side's good. Interesting. Okay. Let me just do a little bit. So, let's see if maybe does this acupressure point get us a better result. So, focusing here. Can I have you just hold against my pulling here. Okay. What about maybe right here? Go ahead and hold. Good. Okay, so that means we're going to get in here and I'm just going to do some rubbing here, a little bit of acupressure, and the body's telling me that that's all we need to free up this blockage. So, when we're working with applied kinesiology, we are using it to identify, for example, is there a physical dysfunction, an area of stress? Is there mental or emotional dysfunction causing an issue? Is it a block in the energy, the aura, or even is it maybe an environmental stressor like mold, for example? Okay, let's go ahead and retest this. So, keep the arm to the side. I'm going to have you hold. Okay, and that's much stronger. So, right in there, I'm just going to do a little work in here. So we can use different techniques, different interventions to treat something. We can use acupressure for any chakra, energy, meridian blockages. We can use massage, and we can do nutritional testing, for example, toxicity testing, different substances like mold, as I mentioned, or if there's any other sort of substance that's affecting you. We can see if you have a sensitivity to dairy, for example, or wheat, or really anything you could be sensitive to. We can work with that, and we can see if maybe you need to add something to your diet, if you need to take something away. Okay, so we're going to come back to the indicator muscle. So I'm going to have you bring the arm to 45 degrees. Yep, this guy. Good. Okay, we're going to test that real quick. Go ahead and hold. That's staying strong. Good. Okay. Let's go ahead and test right in here. So I'm going to touch right here and then hold. Good. About right in here. Go ahead and hold. Okay. What about right here? Go ahead and hold. Okay. All right. Try that again. Hold. Okay. Let's search around and see what we got. Will this maybe work? Right here. Nope. Okay. And hold. No. What about, let's see, about right in here. Right here. Hold. And we're strong. Good. So, right in here, one of the acupressure points on the face. So, if we hadn't found this little spot, you remember how earlier I said we could go in and ask the body questions about, is this structural? Is this nutritional? Is this emotional or energetic? We could go in a little further. For example, if we got a yes answer on the energetic level, then we could ask, for example, do we have an issue with the meridians? Do we have an issue with the chakras? Is it the auric field? Or is it the Tibetan energy flows? But we got it right in here. I'm going to start right here, and then we're actually going to do something called an ear unrolling technique. Keep right in here and just stimulate this point. Good. So all in all, we're basically using your body as a biofeedback tool. We're using it like a computer to tell us what kind of challenges your body is going through on a subconscious or unconscious level that you might not be aware of. And we just have to do it manually. It's almost like we are going through the code as opposed to just running a program. Okay, can I have you just lift that arm? There we go. And can you hold for me? Good. And we're strong. Okay. So, ear unrolling technique. I'm going to have you just gently move your head from side to side, but we're going to muscle test one side and then the other and see how that does. So you could just go one side and lift the arm, okay, and hold. Okay, and can you just go the other side and hold? Alright, so I'll have you just come back to neutral. And the ear unrolling technique involves us pulling and stretching and unrolling this fold here at the helix and bringing this all the way down to the lobes. And we do this a few times, and this is a good energy booster. So I'm just going to do this for you real quick. I'm just going to unroll the ears a few times. And then I'm going to have you move your head to one side, lift the arm, and hold. Good. The other side, and hold. Okay. So, in a moment we are going to switch to a different muscle, but in the meantime, we're also going to do a little move that stimulates the immune system. So we're going to work with the thymus gland. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come right at this little sternal notch here. We'll just go left of center, and we'll do something that you might have seen before. The Italian hand, the Italian kiss fingers, if you will. And we're going to tap on this spot, just like this. So, if I find that on you here, right here, left, center, and we're just going to do some tapping here, and this will build up that immune system a bit. We're going to be getting into autumn now, so people being inside more makes it a lot easier to get sick. So we'll just get ahead of that curve. And you can do this yourself at any point as well. Just find that sternal notch there, that little dip where the sternum starts. Go to the left and just step right in there. Okay. So now I am going to make your arm do this sort of motion here, and I'm going to try to bring this in towards the body, and I'm going to have you resist against that. So if I could just take your arm here, and we're going to have the upper arm lay across the table here, while the forearm is straight up in the air. Now this move, I'm going to try to bring you in this way. So I'm going to have you resist that. Okay. So if I could have you hold. Good. Hold. And hold. Okay. Good. So we'll put that arm down. And I'll have you put up the other arm the same way. Yep, just like that. Okay. And I'm going to try to bring it in like this. I'm going to have you hold against me here. So, go ahead and hold. 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 Okay. Let's go ahead and just do a bit right in here. Do a little bit of work right here. Good. We'll just do this occasionally where we come in and stimulate some points, see if that brings a little bit more balance to the body. Okay, can I have you bring your arm up? Yep, just like we've been doing before, that 45-degree angle. And hold. And hold. Hold. Good. So I'm going to be just rubbing along the sternum here. And this is going to be a little vigorous, a little brisk. And we'll probably do this one a couple of times. Good move to have. And we'll just continue along testing along the body and see if we can pick up any other sort of dysfunctions. So in subsequent applied kinesiology sessions, we're aiming to eliminate dysfunction, see how we improved from before. So it's something that we can do on a regular basis, just to make sure everything's in good shape. Next time we could get more into the nutritional testing. I like to do purely physical, emotional, mental, spiritual to start out with, just because we can go for a long time doing the nutritional stuff. Recommending supplements, seeing if the body likes that or not. Okay, so can I have your arm out here? Alright, and hold. There we go. Let's go ahead and touch right here. to right in here. And then right also in here. Okay, let's see where we got there. So, testing right here and hold. Okay, and hold. And hold. Okay, interesting. And how about, let's see, and go ahead and just hold. Hold. Okay. So, I'm just going to stroke down along the arm here. And the other side. Good, and let's get right in here. There's a method to the madness, I promise. Just get right here. Excellent. Okay. And I think we're going to test your leg here. So what I'd like to do here is I'd like to take your leg, so I will be supporting your foot as well as your thigh here, the top of your leg. And we're going to bring your leg in like this. And the motion here is I'm going to try to press your leg so it straightens out forward like this. I want you to hold against that, okay? So we're going to take your leg in here, fold it in, and then I'm going to try to press it. So we're going this way. I want you to hold, okay? Hold. Good. Hold. And hold. Okay. Let's go ahead and just do that on the other side here. So, bring the leg up. And hold. 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 Okay. Now, I am going to just touch the top of your foot here as well as the inside of the wrist. So one hand here, and I am going to do this move to help strengthen the meridians as well as your immunity. So I'm just going to have you take a few deep breaths with me, okay? So, deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. I'm going to just switch sides here. So other foot, other wrist. Deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. And out. There we go. That's a nice move just to do. Anyways, so I haven't worked with this side as an indicator muscle very much. So if I could have you bring this side at the 45-degree angle. Okay, and can you just hold against me here? Hold. Good, hold. And hold. Okay, very good. So if I were to just get this spot right here. Can you hold for me? Hold. Okay, good. And what about right here? Hold. Hold. Okay, good. So I'm just going to hold the forehead and the top of the head here for just a little bit. Overall, you've done really well during this testing. We haven't had too many issues. You're generally a healthy individual. Okay, yeah. Sometimes you get people where no matter what you test, it's a lot. We get to try to work through that quite a bit. Okay, can you go ahead and hold up that arm? Hold. Good, hold. Okay, right in here. Hold. Okay, let's go ahead and just come right to the sternum here. Yeah, some people it just takes a long time. Some people it just really doesn't. Just working up and down the sternum here, just along that plate. Good. You're responding really well to all of this. We like to see that. It's nice when we can get right into it and not have to investigate too far. Good. Okay. So if I come right here, just with this side here, can I have you do the 45-degree angle and hold? Okay, let's try that one again. And hold. Okay. Is that maybe right in here? And hold. No. Hold. Nope. And hold. Okay, so this is where we do a little bit of questioning. So, we're going to ask the body, go ahead and hold here. Is this structural? No. Is this nutritional? No. Is this emotional? Yes. Okay. So, do you have any particular things on your mind? Any particular stressors? Things you're anxious about? Things you've been thinking about quite a bit lately? You don't have to tell me at all. You just have to be able to identify it. Okay, so how we're going to clear this is we are going to have you think about the stressor while we do a little bit of, we're going to do a few techniques to clear that out. Now, is it just the one issue, or are there any other issues? Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a priority mode here. So I will have you hold here, and I want you to think of the first stressor, and we're going to see if this is the issue. So is it the first stressor here? No? Okay, think of the second one. Is it this one? Okay, is it the third? Okay, so whatever you were thinking of, number 3, that's going to be the issue that your body wants us to work on first. So I am going to just hold on to your forehead here. And we're going to do some deep breathing. I'll have you take a deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Just keep doing that deep breathing on your own. And I'm going to have you think of that stressor number 3. And I want you to just observe your thoughts about this stressor. See what kind of things come up. Just watch it without any judgment. We're just gathering information. And I want you to see, are there any particular body reactions you have? Anything happening in your body? Now I want you to imagine how you'd like to feel about this situation, how you want things to turn out, and I want you to try to conjure these feelings. What would it look like if you did feel this way? Imagine that in your head. We're going to try to put the feelings together with the stressor, the image of the stressor. Image in your mind, how you want to feel with this situation. I'm going to have you just lift your arm up, and I'm going to test it here, so just hold. There we go. Much better. So, let's just come under the back here. Hold. Good. Right in here. And hold. Right in here. And hold. Okay. So let's work right around in here. Okay, right around the shoulder. A little bit of massage here. Some very important muscles that have some very important jobs. Very strong, but have a lot to do. They can be quite stressed. And then along the sternum. Good. And the other shoulder here. Good. And the sternum. And let's go ahead and go with this arm. If you could lift that up. Okay, and hold. Okay, and hold. just come in right here. There we are. A little bit of work right here. I think we've got just a little bit more to go, and then we can button this up for you. Okay, I'm going to hold right here. My other hand is going to go just along the abdomen here. Good. Let me go ahead and just kind of tap along. Right on the top of the head. Okay. This arm right here. Can I have you lift it? Okay. And hold. Good. Hold. And hold. Good. Okay. So we're going to do a little technique where I'm going to be pulling along the top of your head, and we're going to do it simultaneously with deep breathing as well as moving your feet. So we're going to have your feet just as they are, and as we inhale, we're going to pull the feet up. So, and exhale, go down. Just like that. So I will be pulling up with the inhale, down with the exhale. Okay. You just focus on moving your feet in time with the breathing. So I'm going to have you breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Breathe in and out. Okay, I'm going to have one hand underneath your head and one hand on top. And again, as we breathe in, feet are going to come up. As we breathe out, feet are going to go down. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Deep breath in and out. Okay. I'm going to touch right here in the middle of your arm here. I'm just going to move to the abdomen. Good. Arm up for me. Hold. 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 Good. Now, very last thing I want to do. I'm just going to clear out your aura. Just give it a nice little wipe. And that will finish you off. How are you feeling? Are you noticing any difference from when you came in? Okay. Well, you are more than welcome to come back for another session where we really focus on the nutritional sensitivities. We need to add things, take things away, any environmental stresses as well. We can also retest some of these weaker areas that we got all fixed today, but they might go back, you never know. sometimes things need a couple of treatments to go back to normal. So you are free to contact me at any point for that. Do you have any questions for me at all? Okay, well, I would like to thank you so much for allowing me to do this muscle testing with you, show you how applied kinesiology works. I hope you have a whale of a day.